G'day, Michael here. I've been playing with different, well I want to say a distro hopper. I've been playing with different, I'm going to call it distros. Uh, to some extent that's true, to some extent it's just a slightly different desktop environment on a distro I already use. I use Ubuntu Mate or Ubuntu Mate mostly on my machines here, but I've been sprucing up my laptops. I've got 4 of them. And my lower spec laptops, I've found Q4 OS seems to work really nicely. It's very low demand on the machines. It performs pretty well. It's a reasonable desktop, pleasant enough to use. But on the higher spec mobile stuff, I wanted to get still something light and snappy. And I've come across Ubuntu Budgie. Now if you go to ubuntubudgie.org, I'll put a link in the text below so you can find it. You can download it and try it for yourself. It runs live, so you don't need to install it just to see how it behaves. Basically it seems to perform pretty much the same as a live trial, you could say, versus a fully installed system. First of all, I'll show you around it a little bit, and I'll use the camera for that. Then I might do some screen recording showing more detail. Now, all the computers and systems work fine when you're not really loading the machine to capacity. But I've just played with the Budgie and really belted it pretty hard, and it seems to run very smoothly under high load. Some of the desktop environments get a little bit fragmented, I'm going to say. But so far this has been running beautifully. So I'll show you both those things. Yeah, I guess less talking and more demonstrating would be a good thing. Okay, so in this shot you can see the reflection of the camera rig and the monitor that I look at. And of course what I want to show you is the computer screen. So I'll turn it on. Now this machine is an older all-in-one, an MSI all-in-one. And I've really been so happy with how Linux has been running on this machine. I'm not sure how old this is, but it doesn't really behave anything like, doesn't behave any different to a brand new computer. Here we go, I'll just fire it up. And it does the old-fashioned boot, so no speed ups. This is its native, old-fashioned BIOS type boot. Might kill some of these lights. Okay, so it boots pretty quickly. And considering it's an old-fashioned BIOS boot, not a UEFI, it's pretty quick. Alright, now what I like about this interface is basically pretty sparse, so there's not much going on the screen, very little clutter. But there's 2 areas of interest to me, and you've got down this side a launcher. They have another name for it, but I'm calling it that. And over here we have a few other various icons, typical notification type stuff. Now I'll just zoom in. Now naturally I can't use screen capture because I have to turn the machine on. I'll just get that there, focus, there we go. Okay, so we've got these icons here, and the right hand icon is like an arrow pointing to the left. And that pops out a notification and calendar and so forth. There's actually quite a few things in this, so I'm oversimplifying it by calling it notification. A little bit out of level. Oops. Working? Yep, that's probably good enough. Okay, so we've got a calendar. This is showing applets. I changed to notifications and it'll show me any notifications, any unread notifications. Okay. Let's go back to applets. Down the bottom, there's a thing for configuration. And of course you've got various settings. I'll close that again. Do that. We can lock the stream. Of course, we need to be able to unlock it. What else we got going? And of course, turn off the power. So it's pretty straightforward with all of this. There's another configuration here, and that is for this panel. But also we can configure the top bar. I'm quite happy with the way it's set up at the moment. Alright, so let's run some software. One thing I like about the launcher from this side is, of course, you've got the ability to, like, let's say, let's launch Firefox. Okay, so we have Firefox launched, and the launcher on the side has actually disappeared. So it's, if there's a need for your open window to use the whole screen, it gets out of the way. But if we reduce the size of that, the launcher pops back up again on the left hand side. Alright, now let's say I launch a program that is not on that launcher. I've got a calculator, let's try that one. Okay, so I launch the calculator. Now of course the calculator shows up, but also shows up in the launcher on the left hand side here. And we have the option of keeping it in the dock or not. So if I click on keep in the dock, the next time I boot up the computer, that icon will be sitting there ready to go. So you can very simply add programs to that launcher. I've just chosen to close it. The interface is really quite nice. I'll make a modification right now. Where am I here? Now I've only used this for about a day now, so I'm not super familiar with it. Panel, there we go. On the start, I'll add a separator. Then I'll add a workplace switcher. Okay, so now I've got a workspace switcher on the top left hand side here. So I'll demonstrate that. I'll go to another desktop and let's just, I don't know, open this, then maybe to another desktop. What else haven't I used here? Maybe LibreOffice. Okay, so we have multiple desktops and we've just added that switcher to the top. So as I'm moving into this computer, which I've only just installed, it's very quickly capable of being set up, without much fuss. I just like the way that the whole interface is laid out. What else do we need to see? Oh, of course, you've got the typical start menu type arrangement where you've got things sorted into categories, which is something I really enjoy over Windows type installation. Is the software is sorted in the type of application that it's going to be. Like you have accessories, games, well, let's just go through them. Accessories, games, graphics, which I haven't got much installed here, which is interesting enough. Internet. So it's all sorted into the type of program it's going to be, rather than sorted by vendor like you have on the commercial packages. So if you use Windows, you tend to have like maybe Adobe or Corel or something like that, whereas here it's sorted into the type of thing you want to do. Okay, so let's see what this thing's like under load. Okay, so here you can see there's a bit of chopping and changing with the CPUs there. It's dual core with hyper-threading, so it's not really quad core, it's really 2 cores. Alright, so what I've got open here is I've got OpenShot. Let's change the desktops. We've got a touchscreen. We have Thunderbird with quite a few accounts. We have Rhythmbox as a music player. And we have web browser. So I've got a lot going on this computer. It's got 8 GB of RAM, so it's reasonable, but it's not, a crazily over-spec machine. Like I said, it's an older machine, and I find that it runs beautifully. In any case, let's put it under really high load. I'll get it to render this video. Okay, what have we got going here? All formats. Okay, we'll do that. 4, that'll do. Okay, so we'll give this thing something to do, which will keep it busy. I want to see the CPU usage go very high, because then we can really start seeing how it behaves under load. Okay, so let's try maybe screen recording. Now let's start doing the recording. Now while it's doing that, let's try maybe installing some software as well. See, that holds up. Here we've got this icon here. Bit hard to see perhaps, but it's got like a round blue circle of white dots, sort of an arrangement of icons, I'm going to say it looks like. Here we go. We can see what we've got installed. We can see what updates required. Let's go back to all. And they're sorted in, you know, categories. And if you've got a Play Store like Android or you know, Apple, you'll see something similar to that. I mean, Linux has had this kind of thing for ages. What have we got going? Let's go productivity, audio and video, graphics and photography. Let's go graphics and photography because we can. Okay, what have we got going here? Oh, what do I feel like? Yeah, let's do a panorama creator. Install. Let's do that. So that's installing the, we need a password, obviously to allow it to install. It'll be very interesting to see how the screen recording is going of all of this. Now the machine's really working its heart out. The CPUs, all the cores are showing like 100% usage. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. So I'm doing a screen recording, a video rendering, installing software, multiple desktops open, a browser, email package, on a machine with 8 GB of RAM, and dual core with hyper-threading. So it's really asking quite a lot of the machine. Let's just see how that recording went. Where are we? Go to screen, stop. Let's have a look at that. Maybe another desktop. Okay, videos. We'll get the second one. Let's see how that went. Move that around a little bit. There's me demonstrating the packages. Seems to be running beautifully smooth. You can see this timeline here of the system monitor is running smoothly. Wow, I'm impressed. That is very efficient. Doesn't seem to be any major hiccups or glitches. Seems to be running fairly smooth. Wow. Well, okay. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment. Bye for now.